Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. It is Wednesday morning at 9:30, and this is my online card class. So welcome. If you are joining me this morning, do say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, and thank you for being here. If you are watching the replay, perhaps on YouTube, I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can do that right on YouTube. So I would thank you for taking a moment to do that as well. That will just help me get all of my videos out to you and to everyone who enjoys crafting. So I am just going to have a peek here as I start to share a little bit of news with you. I was at On Stage on the weekend, which is a demonstrator only event that Stampin' Up! Puts on. And it's so much fun. Even more fun because we haven't been able to gather in person for 3 years. So this was awesome. It was so awesome to see my demonstrator friends and to make new demonstrator friends and just be in person and see everything live. It was exciting. So I have a few things that I would share with you from On Stage. Just because I thought you might like to see some of the things that went on over the course of the weekend. So let me just, whoop, too much stuff on two small tables. Let me just flip this. Okay. And we will start with this. This is the new January to April mini catalog. Look at that beautiful, all those purple colors. Isn't that lovely? They do such a wonderful job with their covers and everything. And this celebration. Woohoo! We love celebration. So January 5th to February 28th, for every $60 you spend on anything, doesn't have to be from the new catalog, just any Stampin' Up! Merchandise can be the annual catalog, can be clearance, can be anything. But for every $60 you spend, you may select a free item from here. I can't show you the insides of these catalogs yet, so I'm not sure whether it's kind to show you the covers or just a mean tease. But anyway, they are coming as demonstrators. We got them early, and since we were at the On Stage event, I've even been able to order some products from here, so those will arrive soon. Then I can share those with you. I can share real product. I just can't show you the inside of the catalog. So I will do that another time, not today. Today, what I thought I would show you is some of the goodies we got. So Thursday night was Center Stage, which is for Stampin' Up! Leaders, so Silver Elite title and above. And they gave us this umbrella, which says Stampin' Up!, which is very cool, and that's wonderful. But the best part is, and I don't know how much of this I'll be able to show you on my little camera, but can you see, look at all the colored dots in there. It's so much fun. And it was a rainy weekend in Montreal, so we were using these, and it was like, okay, so I should be watching the road, but I'm watching the colored dot bubbles in my umbrella. This is like, ooh, safety first. But anyway, that was marvelous. And then they at the event they had some sneak peeks of items and things, and we had all these marvelous desserts and a chance to just chat with everybody and catch up, and it was a lovely evening. And then for the main On Stage event, we got this beautiful box filled with some wonderful goodies. This isn't going to work. Okay. Okay, so I guess you don't really need to see this right at the box. So we got some pins. This is the On Stage pin, and then there's a couple other pins. They always give us pins, and we can keep them, we can trade them. I didn't get around to opening mine. I was so busy visiting and things. I didn't get that far, but anyway, and I didn't use this pen. But I've heard it's lovely and what writes really nicely. So they give us this pretty pen, which coordinates with this notebook, which is, you may not be able to tell, it's pale papaya is the color on there, I'm going to say. And look at the edges on this notebook. Isn't that lovely? So the insides are just plain, but the edges all decorated lovely. So that was fun, and everything fits beautifully into. Ooh, this is going to be hard to show you as well. Let me get this box out of the way. It's an over-the-shoulder bag in evening evergreen. Like, is there a richer color out there? It's like a faux suede, and it says Stampin' Up. It's the beauty of all these things. They're always logoed for us, which is lovely. Look at that little Stampin' Up guy in there. There's a zippered pouch in there, a nice pouch inside, and then there's also a back pocket on it. So just a beautiful, beautiful bag. If you are a demonstrator but did not attend on stage, excuse me, they did tell us that this is going to be a supply item, as is, I believe, the notebook and possibly the pen. Not positive about the pen, but the notebook and the bag will be supply items. So if you are a demonstrator, you would like to have one of these as well, but weren't able to go to on stage, you may have a chance to get one. And then I do have other product, but we have crafting to do, but I will show you this. This is a new kit, and this is available now. So you could order this if you want. This is one of our all-inclusive kits. It is called Timeless Greetings. Oh, there we go. And there are 2 different styles of cards in crumb cakes and Cajun craze and basic black. And yeah, I didn't even finish a card. Again, I might have been doing some socializing. Anyway, beautiful card kit, brand new, and you can order that right now if you wish. So there we go. That is just a really quick peek at a few of the goodies from the weekend, and I think we should get crafting. So this morning, the cards for this class are from the Lights Aglow suite. It is beautiful and stunning. Just a card kit. Okay. I do need to tell you that unfortunately, this Lights Aglow Specialty Designer Series paper is no longer available. However, I'm pretty sure I have enough to cover all that I need to fill class orders. So fear not, you will get this in your class kits if you choose to participate in that part of this class. So I have enough. I had bought a couple of packages just very recently, and because I didn't know what I was going to do yet for the remainder of the year, and it was so beautiful, I was like, I just have to have some of this. I also have some from my girls' getaway weekend, and that is part of the goodie bag. Oops. Little secret given out if you're coming to my girls' getaway weekend, but hopefully by the time you see this, you'll have your goodie bag and you'll know. But I do have some from that, so I will be able to fill all of the class kit orders. The class kit orders, what are they? You're asking. So if you place a $45 order from my online store using the host code that I will put in the comments here after the class, I will send you a card kit of all of the pieces that you need to create 6 cards. So we're going to make 3 today, and you will have supplies to make 2 of each of those. Okay, they will come to you. I will not include die cuts, and I cannot put stamped images in the kit, but you can either order these stamps and dies if you wish, or you could just go to your stash and pull out whatever you have in there and make some beautiful cards. So that is how you do that. You get that free with a $45 minimum purchase from my online store using the host code for this class. If your order is $60 or more, I will also send you a full pack of these festive pearls as an additional thank you for joining me on this class. So that is out there if you wish to take advantage of that. All right, let's get to some crafting. So this is our first card. So we have a thick basic white card base. We have a piece of basic white cardstock that is embossed with the time-worn type embossing folder, and your piece will come embossed ready for you. And there is a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock and a piece of the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. Good morning, Donna. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. I have used, I don't really even tell, this is the piece with the gold trees on the back, and I actually turned it over to use these stars. It's not the shiny gold side, but I did like it. So, and then you'll have a piece of basic white cardstock for the tree or whatever element you choose to put on your card if you don't have these dies, and then a stylish shape die cut circle for your sentiment, and this will come die cut for you. Alrighty, let's get going. I am using Evening Evergreen and Cherry Cobbler ink for the cards today. Those are the only two inks I've used on all three cards. So if you have those, you're all set. If you don't have those, but you have a dark green and a dark red, you're set. And I have to tell you, Cherry Cobbler for sure is it's a staple. I think that when most people ask me what colors of red ink they should get, my first recommendation is real red because that's sort of a classic red. My second is always Cherry Cobbler because it's a beautiful, it's great for Christmas, but it's just it's a beautiful, dark, deep, rich red. Okay, so this is the Lights, nope, it's not the Lights Aglow stamp set. The stamp set. We just had the catalog here too. Okay, we're just going to do this because you know, sometimes I'm just not on the ball properly. Okay, so this tree is from the Christmas lights set, and the sentiments that we're using today are from the Brightest Glow stamp set. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to leave that kind of out to the side here because I may need that again. Now, if you have this tree and you are making this exact card, you will need a stamp and cut and emboss machine. I brought my mini in, and I suspect that most of you may know how to use this, but I haven't shown this during any of my card making recently. So it might be fine to make sure everybody knows how to die cutting. Sorry. Little noisy, little wiggly. Okay, so we have plate number 1, and we have a cutting plate, and then we're going to put down our piece of paper that we're going to die cut, and we are going to put this tree over top. Now, my tree, I see, my die is a little warped. Sometimes they get a little bit warped as you use them, and if it's just a little bit, you can give it just a little bend. They will cut when they're warped. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit trickier to line them up on the paper if they're wobbly. So we'll try that. And then number 2, top plate. I'll put those things on there and run this. There we go. So this is probably going to wiggle a little bit. Definitely going to wiggle a little bit as I run it through. I apologize for that. There we go. And then you have a beautiful die cut tree. There we go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all of this cut and emboss. That is the mini cut and emboss machine. if you are looking for a very reasonably priced die cutting machine, it's not a bad price point. And if you host a get together with your friends, I will come and entertain you for a while, and we'll make a card and have some girlfriend fun, etc., etc. And they place orders, and you have $200 or more in orders. No, yes, you will qualify for some post rewards. So you could, get some things for free if your if your friends love to stamp and they want to buy lots of things, and your total sales are $550 or more, you may choose an item for 50% off, and you can actually choose that new die cutting machine at 50% off. So that's an awesome way to get it, because then it's like $40 or something. I think very reasonably priced. So anyway, and if you have either the small one or the large one, either of the cut and emboss machines will cut this tree, obviously. So okay, so I've just put the cardstock on there. I need my sentiment, and I'm using Cherry Cobbler ink for that. And I have All is Merry and Bright. Just going to stamp this. Oh, my cat is climbing into things. It's like, okay, Mom's busy. We can go anywhere now. She can't chase us down. Monsters. Yes, they haven't too bad, but they're very busy. They're still very kitten-like, even though they're both over a year old, but very busy. Right. So now we just need some assembly. So I'm going to adhere this cardstock to this embossed white piece, and I'm going to use my liquid glue for this because with the embossing, the liquid glue I find it works really well because the glue can kind of ooze down into all the little crevices. Whereas you can use tape runner. If you have Stampin' Seal, you can use that, and it will absolutely work. You just have to be fairly generous with it to make sure you get it in lots of places, because depending how raised your embossed piece is, it may not. It won't stick everywhere, right? It's only going to stick on the raised bits. So, okay, so I cut some of these because when I was doing this the first time, I noticed that dimensional does not fit on here too well. I'm just going to throw these on here as well. So I am popping this up with dimensionals. I trimmed some of my nails, and now they're not as good at getting dimensional backs off. I'm going to put this up about there. And then my sentiment I want popped up, but where it's over the tree, I don't want to have a dimensional there, because then it would be double popped and it would be on a funky angle. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dimensional right here, because then I know where it is. Actually, I'm going to put two. I'm going to put one there and one here. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on here, and that should hold my sentiment popped up on the right side and nice and level on the left side. I'll put that right about there. There we go. Now I have used the new gold adhesive backed swirls. These are from the Fitting Florets set that is out now, the early release, and these are available only while supplies last. And then I have some festive pearls that I'm going to decorate my tree with. So I'm going to use one of these large ones in the middle of my star tree topper. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a whole bunch of these all over the place here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should have 7, shouldn't I? I know a number. When you have this many, it doesn't always matter. Let's see. What? Oh, okay. So get that back. I'm going to leave that there. And maybe I will just stop at 6, even though it's a little bit against the odd number rule. But as I say, when you have this many, you don't notice the odd even as much. And I think that looks okay. Just need to make sure this is going to stay stuck. There we go. That's better. Okay, so there is your first card. Oh, no, it needs a card base, doesn't it? Okay, let's do that. I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals and just gosh, my cat is being a munchkin. Chop up all these edges and use them up. I'm sure everybody knows, but you always want to use all of your dimensionals. So these ones on the edge that are cut, you just have to just snip them apart, and then they too are awesome. And they're just dimensionals, they pop stuff up. So over. My cat is into all sorts of things. This morning, Oscar felt he had this need to put his head and then his front paws and then most of his body into one of my paper trash bins, and it's this soft-sided cloth buckety sort of thing from Stampin' Up. And so he gets in there and he's like, it's almost like a tube, except it's solid on the end. So he's trying to wiggle around and it's soft, so it's falling over. It was kind of hilarious, but that's what we love about them. Ready, now we have the first card done. And I did not clean my tree stamp. I better just do that, or we will have green ink in places where we don't want green ink. Okay, second card. This is the second card, and this is some more paper from the Lights Aglow, and this one's in very vanilla, just for something a little bit different here. Okay, so so I have a thick, very vanilla card base. I have a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, have regular very vanilla, and I have embossed this with the whimsical woodland. Can you see those trees? Aren't they fun? I love that embossing folder. A strip of very vanilla cardstock for the sentiment, and then 3 strips of the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. Okay, so let's get started. I think perhaps I will stamp my sentiment first. I have Season's Greetings from the Lights Aglow stamp set, and I'm using cherry cobbler again. And I'm going to put it towards this end of my cardstock, hopefully in the center, because it's tough to see narrow strips on a funky angle while you're on camera, but we'll see what we get here. We have a slightly crooked sentiment. I'm going to flip that over and give it another try. I'm just going to pull it down a little bit so that hopefully I can get this one straight. Okay. All right, that is better. I think this looks, yes, this is wider than what I have on there. So I am going to just trim this down a bit. Like that. It could be wide. I just don't want it to take up too much of my card because I want to show off those pretty paper strips. So I am just going to trim some of this a little narrower. I think it's going to be less, going to be more narrow than, no, oh no, look, oh, it's very close, very close. All right, very close and certainly good enough because there's no right or wrong, right? I just thought it looked a little lighter than I wanted it. Now, I am bringing in this old tailored tag punch because it is my favorite way to make chevron ends. You can use a square punch. You can use anything that has an angle on it, or you can just use your paper snips and you cut. If you cut down the middle and then in from each edge, you can get a you can get a chevron that way as well. It's going to come as something that's rolling around. Oh yes, my bottle of Stamp and Mist, and since it's a round bottle, of course it rolls. So you feel like it a bit better, and because again, I just don't want it taking up the whole card. I want to see more of the card. All right, so card base. Oops, I got a little bit of adhesive on there from something, not sure where, but it, okay. Card base, cherry cobbler. I'm going to adhere my embossed piece to the cherry cobbler. You can use this on the debossed side as well. It's kind of fun. Just do it. I'll do it. I'll do it embossed this time, but you certainly could do it embossed as well. Onto there. Should have put my strips on first, but hopefully it's okay. When you are making cards, you tend to build from the top down so that if I mess things up putting these on, I would have only had to replace my Berry Vanilla, whereas now I would have to replace my Cherry Cobbler as well. So that's why we sort of start at the top and work our way down. But anyway, keep our fingers crossed that this works out. And I have these strips towards the left side. This one is, it's maybe a little past the middle, but I just stuck it down. I wasn't really looking or measuring. You can put them anywhere. You can put them very close to one edge. You can put them perfectly centered. They are 3 different lengths, so you don't need to worry about, you know, lining up tops and bottoms. And I'm just putting this up against the edge of my paper as I put the next one down. So that's how I have done that. Okay. So there is that. Now we have some gold shimmer ribbon that I have, and this will be in your kit as well. So I just sort of looped it around. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to decide I kind of want my sentiment about here, and I am just going to lay down some adhesive along here to hold my ribbon. Oops, oh, that looks a little wide. Oh, it might be okay. I'm gonna roll it back just a little bit, just to be sure. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of loop-de-looping. Again, no right or wrong, just whatever you decide to do. And then when once you lay it down, then you can really should measure this so I know how much to send you, but I'll figure that out. There we go. That'll just be a little bit of gold shimmer behind our sentiment. Okay. And now I'm going to put some dimensionals onto this guy. Don't anybody panic. That was the one that I did the first time that looked kind of crooked. Didn't look too bad now, but anyway, it is the back and there's the front, so we're good. And I'm just going to put this right pretty much at the edge and then straight across. There we go. Okay. And then this will just attach to our card base. And on this card, I have just used these gold swirls. You could use your festive pearls. You could use any gold embellishment that you have, or you could do something in cherry cobbler or whatever you have. Head to your stash, find out what you got. If you have placed an order to get the kit, and your order was $60 or more, you will have these festive pearls because I will be sending them to you. So, and you could certainly use these little gold guys. And there you go. There is our second card. All right. Okay. Third card. This is the third card. This uses some of our specialty papers. And I brought the packages so I can tell you exactly what they are because, good memory but short. So, in your kit, you will have a thick, basic white card base, a piece of evening evergreen cardstock, a piece of this, which is Festive Foils Specialty Designer Series paper. And this comes in a package with 3 different colors. You get 2 sheets of each, so you get 6 sheets. Oopsie. So we have, I believe this is real red. Nope, it's cherry cobbler. Cherry cobbler, gold, and soft succulent. Makes sense. Cherry cobbler. It's part of the sweet. So cherry cobbler, little snowflakey guys. Gold, which has some dots on it, and then the piece that we're using, the soft succulent, which has the larger snowflakes. This is really lovely paper, and it's called specialty paper. It's called Festive Foil. It's not foil the way you might think of some foil. Like, to me, foil is this shiny gold. It has shine to it. It has it's more like it has shimmer to it, I would say, is sort of how I would describe it. But anyway, it's lovely. Then you have another piece of evening evergreen, and then you have a piece of soft succulent that is from the brush stroke specialty paper. And this is another specialty paper that is in the annual catalog, and it is in soft succulent, blushing bride, and night of navy. And it's just, can you see the brush strokes, the beautiful texture? Someone said it looks like the wallpaper from the 50s or 70s, or stuff that your grandparents had on the walls, or maybe your parents. But on cards, it's lovely because it just gives you some texture. Hey, an evening evergreen stylish shapes die cut circle, and this will be die cut for you. There is one of these iridescent, sort of plasticky snowflakes, called specialty snowflakes or something, rather. I don't quite remember. And then a piece of basic white for your sentiment. Okay, so let's get started. For this one, I'm using Evening Evergreen ink. And I have the sentiment, 'tis the season. This is also from the Lights Aglow stamp set. So they are all from the same stamp set. And I'm going to stamp this towards this end, but not right at the edge. There we go. And that's all the stamping there is on there. So we'll close up the ink pad. Just a little wipe off. So we don't get any ink anywhere. We don't want it. All right, and now it's just, oh, no. So another chevron end. You can leave all of these ends square if you're not comfortable making chevrons or you don't have a punch that makes a shape that you're happy with. Or you can, I mean, you could put a different shape on the end of your tag. It doesn't have to be a chevron. It can be anything. So your cards, whatever you like. Fold and then some assembly. So this foil paper, the special paper, is just one-sided. So you don't ever have to make a choice about which side you want to, oh, I don't want to cover up the, the specialty side because the pattern on the back is lovely. Saves you some of that heartache that we sometimes experience. Okay, this card, this design is one that I have cased from a demonstrator friend, Tamara, who shared this the other night on one of her Facebook lives. And it was such a wonderful layout and showed off these beautiful papers so nicely. I thought, oh my gosh, I just have to do that. I'm going to put that into my card class. So, okay, so I'm going to pop this piece up with dimensionals. Get the dimensions off the paper. Oh, okay. Seems to be very staticky today. These things are sticking. And then I'm just going to put this down on the right side, in from the edge a little bit. It's not, it can be any amount. It's not totally crucial how far in you go. And then we have the snowflake. And I popped this one up on the dimensional, but that kind of made everything a little bit odd for getting the sentiment on. So this time I am just going to put a little dab of glue on the back and lay it down flat. It's not that you can't do all those layers, you just have to kind of, you need to think about what is going where so that you have lift where you need it and flat to make it level and those sorts of things. So this will just make this easier because here I need flat here, but I do need to put a dimensional under this portion just to hold this up so that it is even with this, which is raised. So just some tape runner on here. Make sure I have this going on the right way. Going on opposite to the other one, but that's okay. Put it up high. There we go. And then now I can put this on with dimensionals. I just need to not go, well, I probably wouldn't be going right to that very edge anyway, so this will be fine. Okay. I'm just going to put this right over the center there. It's going to dangle off the edge of that. There we go. And now it's ready to go on to the card base. I will remember to put it onto the card base this time. There we go. There. And for this card, again, you could use your festive pearls. I would recommend the silver or the soft succulent. Either one would look lovely on there. Actually, why don't I go ahead and do that? These dark evening evergreen gems are from the 21 to 23 in color opal rounds. So they have soft succulent as well and evening evergreen because those are two of the in colors, along with pale papaya, fresh freesia, and polished pink. So that's what I used on this card, but maybe we will go ahead and use, now, do I want the soft succulent? Maybe the silver. Should I use the silver? I think I'll use the silver. And these are small, so I think I'm going to put all three of these down here on the bottom as opposed to the one up there. But again, you can sprinkle these wherever you like. Okay, so there are your cards. There we go. All three of them. If you place a $45 order using the host code that you will find in the comments and any social media I put out about this card class, I will send you the card kit, and the card kit will give you everything you need to make 6 cards. So you will do 2 of each. Oh, somebody's trying to come and visit. So you would get enough for 2 of each of those. If your order is $60 or more, I will also include a full package of the festive pearls. And then you can make these cards yourself at home. If you don't have the stamps, as I said, feel free to go to your stash, pull out what you have. It's all about crafting and having fun and making pretty cards. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but I will send you lots of the bits and pieces so you can make them a whole lot like this. That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thanks, Donna. I'm glad you liked the cards. And if you have enjoyed this, I hope that you will join me again for my next crafting adventure. Thanks so much for coming out today. I'll see you all again really soon. Bye for now.